No, it's still.
We're live.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Plan B's Winter Coming by T-Hub. This is a very exciting session for all of us. We have 4 angel networks with us today who are going to talk about what is the outlook that they have for the coming few quarters, as well as what is it that they're seeing with their portfolio companies. How has the investment landscape changed over the last couple of months? And we're really excited to hear from all of you. I would like to invite all the speakers today again. Thank you for all your patience with us and please being here. I'm going to take 7-8 minutes to explain our ideology on these webinars, and of course, we'd like you to take use of whatever is it that is useful for us. So I'm sure most of you are aware of what T-Hub does, but of course there are many conflicting messages about what T-Hub is. Is it an incubator, an accelerator, a corporate innovation hub? So this is a very simple way that we put it. We are an innovation ecosystem that works with various stakeholders to ultimately benefit the beneficiary startups. We work with corporates. We have very strong corporate innovation programs. We have been doing this for the last 4 years. We have a very rich investor base that we work with to understand what's happening in the ecosystem, as well as to, of course, provide a good pipeline, qualified pipeline to them. We work closely with the government, given that T-Hub itself is a Government of Telangana initiative. We do work with many organizations in the academic space to understand and to promote entrepreneurship at the college level. So we have broadly 3 divisions under which we work. One is the startup innovation, wherein all of our acceleration incubation programs, as well as our scaling programs, which is our Lab 32, which is our core incubation program. We take this batch once in every 8-9 months, and we take anywhere between 40 to 70 startups in this. We work closely with them for a period of 6 months, and we help them get to the next stage. Our acceleration programs include T-Angel, which is angel investment or an investment-focused program where we spend a lot of time to help them prune their pitch decks, get their financial models in place, and get them out there and actually interact with investors. So we have done with our first batch, and we'll be launching the next one in a few weeks. We have, in our scaling programs, we have TRESL, which is also an international program between India and Silicon Valley. We are working with Falconex from the Silicon Valley, and we help mature companies from India explore markets outside of India. And through TRESL Falconex, we are doing it with Silicon Valley. Next is corporate innovation. We work with NPCI, we work with Facebook, we work with right from multinationals to very core Indian companies like BDL. We work across these companies to help them figure out their innovation needs and then introduce them to startups and have very dedicated programs to help them get to their innovation goals. The next one is the ecosystem innovation, which is where ecosystem office sits, which is what I take care of within T-Hub. Ecosystem office is a central office for all investor, mentor, partner, service provider relationships. So we have close to about 70, 80 investors that we work with, about 50 service providers, and mentor board over 100 different mentors who work with us, various initiatives. Our international programs, like I was saying about TRESL, the international programs works closely with various international incubators, trade offices to allow an exchange of ideas and companies to move from one place to another. Then, of course, there's community and events, which keeps our space very active and keeps it vibrant all the time. So with respect to when this COVID started opening up new challenges to everybody, we've decided that these are extraordinary times and we need to do something very different, and our usual status quo would not work, just like it would not work for any of us in the startups. So we have decided that we would spend a lot more time in helping bring in these speakers from across the country to talk to you about the various questions that you might have, and also bring in sessions that will actually give you practical hacks and means in which you can solve your problems. So these are the three broad categories of sessions that we've been doing. The first one is called handling a hard time. These are issues relating to personal safety, practices for handling COVID, and the sorts of that. Then, of course, the second one is persevering through the crisis, which is business unusual sessions. We have got many sessions in this category that were done already, where we bring in practical tools and practical hacks that entrepreneurs can use in this time to help them manage the remote working most efficiently. Then, of course, reimagining the future. This session falls into that. This is called Plan B sessions, where we have two sets. One is a set of webinars that we do with entrepreneurs who have built companies, who have faced a similar crisis or have built through crisis. We have had Jas Gulati from Now Floats. We had Greg Moran from Zoomcar who have addressed these sessions. While we also have a bunch of AMAs that happen every Friday with investors. We had Satish Chandra, we had Sandeep Singhal, we had, in fact, this Friday we had a different variation of that where we focused exclusively on SaaS softwares, and we had Dev Kare from Lightspeed Ventures to address this session along with Class Oscam. So these are the sessions that we do. I'm going to skip this part. Some of the sessions that we have done is this. You will always please follow our page if you have not already followed. Our social media is updated with any sessions that we do. Then these are the partners that we work with closely to help promote our programs as well as they promote, as well as we give them a hand in promoting their programs in our ecosystem. With that, I think I will again take a minute to invite our speakers for the day. Sushanto Mitra, Digvijay Singh, Chandran, and Ratnakar. Thank you so much for joining us. So if we can start with you, Sushanto, if you can give us a 10-minute brief about what is it that you're seeing in the ecosystem and how do you think this space is going to emerge out? Over to you, Sushanto.
Thanks, Renata. And just to give a little background about Lead Angels before we go on, and then I'll talk about that. So Lead Angels is an angel network. We have started about 5 years ago. We have about 130 members, invested in 30 plus companies. Some of the companies that we have invested include Shop Kirana, Super Daily, Market Pulse, Doubtnut. These are some of the portfolio companies that we have. Our typical investment size is about 1 crore of rupees. And what is different specifically for Lead Angels is that we have 2 other divisions which work alongside Lead Angels Network. We have an advisory arm which advises companies in raising pre-series A, series A funding. And there's a separate team which handles advisory. And we also have a management and professional services division which helps companies in, I may call it pre-acceleration and acceleration. So we have worked with universities overseas as well as startups in India, where we help them to make their plans, business plans in terms of compliance, structuring, and those things. And that we are now doing virtually. So it's like both education and acceleration as one part. Coming specifically to this situation, so I think that there is always a positive side to it. So to say that this is a very, very unprecedented situation, and we've, the world economy, if the past downturns have anything to go by, this is something which will, the downturn could last for more than 2 years. Some economies are already in recession. The positive side is that the age of startups is actually going to get accelerated because of this. Because if you say the companies which are worst affected in this crisis are the ones which are in the bricks and mortar domain, and startups in general are using technology and work primarily in the virtual world. which we are all in today. Like today also is a virtual meeting, but that is the world that is going to go forward. And in the time where in the low touch economy, as we're going to see, startups will have a major role. So the positive side is startups will sort of take over a lot of things that were happening in the physical world. So whether it's events or it's travel or it's conferences, so many things startups will be doing in future. Uh, Very specific in the short term, I think uh, Series B, Series C type of funding will slow down, whereas early stage funding will continue to happen. But it's difficult to say what will happen in the next 6 months as more and more economy is going to recession and funds find pressures from their LPs. I don't know whether that funding situation will remain as strong as it is seems to be now or was before COVID. Uh, in terms of our portfolio, yes, these are tough times for some of our portfolio companies who deal with the physical world, with the bricks and mortar world. And we've been basically working with them where there's not much that we can do in changing the situation, but looking some of the companies pivoting into something else or trying to keep their teams motivated during these anxious times and also conserving cash because this is the time when cash is very, very critical. So these are some of the things that we've been doing with our portfolio. And from an angel network perspective, I think angels are still active. As I said, how long we don't know. But and the areas of interest today within lead angels is edtech, healthcare, B2B SaaS. Those are some of the areas where we find angels have interest and are willing to invest even in these times. So that is all.
Great, thank you. Chandran, can you please share some thoughts from your side about how Chennai Angels is looking at this situation?
Yeah, sure, Vidita. Thank you very much to you and T-Hub for giving this wonderful opportunity to all of us. Hearty greetings to my fellow speakers and also the other guests who are present here today. To introduce myself, I am a mechanical engineer from IIT Chennai and I have done my post-graduation in management from IIM Calcutta. I have about 35 years of experience in the corporate sector. Worked across multiple verticals, headed various functions and operations in India and overseas. And last 12 years, especially, I was doing a lot of M&A, a lot of cross-border acquisitions spread across US, Europe, India, and UK. So prior to joining Chennai Angels last year, I was mentoring also a number of startups. And that is about me briefly. And now I'll turn on to Chennai Angels. I wish to briefly introduce the Chennai Angels to you. We were established in 2007 by a team of 10 members from TiE Chennai who saw the need to financially support good startups that they were mentoring as time members. So over the years, now we are a 110 member network comprising of some leading industry leaders and technocrats. And we also have institutional members. Some of the individual members include people like Lakshmi Narayana, Gopal Srinivasan, Ramaraj, Harish Lakshman, Ashok Junjunwala, Vinod Dasri, and so on. And institutional members like Sequoia, TVS Capital, Spark Capital, Venture East, MAPE, and so on. We are sector and geography agnostic. We have funded so far 51 startups. Our preferred investment size ranges about 2 crores, 1.5 to 2.5, 3 crore is a sweet spot. We have an exit record of about 20%, which I believe is among the best in the industry, with an average multiple of about 3.7x. Some of the market exits which we have got are Fourth Partner Energy, CloudCherry, and Purple. And some of our active leading portfolio companies today in alphabetical order, Chai Kings, Finbud, Get My Parking, HitWicket, Indus Valley, Keto, NanoClean, Proclean, SP Robotics. Then moving on to the current crisis. We are in a different time now from a few months ago. People and businesses all over are filled with anxiety. Everything has changed. Many industries have been affected, as we all know, starting from retail, travel, tourism, automotive, real estate, construction, oil and gas, transportation, logistics, fintech, and so on. But there also have been a lot of changes in our lifestyle now. A lot of things are emerging, like social distancing, work from home, health consciousness, virtual education, digital fitness, home entertainment, and so on. Businesses all around are actually facing a huge shared threat now on a scale not seen for decades. More recently, we had this dot-com bust in 2001 and economic recession in 2008-9. But the current situation seems to be far more severe and grave. Startups are facing a lot of headwinds. Many are confronting liquidity crisis. Sales cycles are getting pushed out. Potential customers are looking elsewhere. They can grow in the new paradigm, but need some financial support at this stage. So we intend to support these companies. Then there's a fourth type, those who are doing well, their revenues have been severely affected now. I mean, they are now in hand to mouth in terms of cash, facing a bleak outlook for the next 6-12 months. But once the crisis is lifted, they can go back to normal. There are companies like that. So there we will try to raise debt or try to support them with equity to at least tide over this next 6-12 months. Then finally, there are companies who have no runway, no hope also to survive the current crisis. So here the promoters will need to put their venture either on ice or wind down. So these are the 5 broad categories. So we are all working on these different companies. The first priority, of course, like for everybody else, would be to save the current investments. We need to protect our current investments. We believe that the exit opportunities will get deferred for some time. This will put enormous strain on the angels, the members, our investors, in terms of finances. So consequently, the investments required for new startups will slow down, will take a pause. But what are surplus funds are there? The priority would be to prefer invest in ventures which are already funded, are well run with high quality founders, can do reasonably well in the new paradigm with further infusion of capital. So these would be some of the would be a preferred investment for. It hard to raise funds and will be extra choosy on the opportunities that they will be looking into. they too are naturally focused on protecting their current investments. Funding in new ventures, with Series A, B, etc., will definitely likely to be delayed.
We are still continuing to fund. We have funded a edutech company around 3 to 4 days back. Sectors like farm to fork or edutech or AI driven solutions which are catering to these sectors, medical and health related, and so those things continue. And yes, as angels are pretty opportunistic, and they see a good opportunity in this crisis also. And yes, of course, all entrepreneurs need to be very, very positive by the core and see an opportunity. And that is where we very strongly feel that, you know, it's a time to reevaluate your customers, reevaluate your, strategy on what is the customer requirement, what is the problem that you were trying to solve, how is that problem changed now, and relook at your product and services. And of course, the approach to get it to the end user who's going to pay for your services is again has to be relooked. And it's something like maybe a World War II ke baad, whatever was the scenario of the globe, maybe it's similar situation right now. And each one of us need to reanalyze and use this time that we have to maybe deliver better or plan better or execute better in the coming times. And yeah, as an entrepreneur, you have to take it as a challenge and build up around the market that you have. Go back to the drawing board if required, rather than wasting your time over spilt milk. ये नहीं हो रहा है, वो नहीं हो रहा है. This is I am in a sector which is not getting funded. It's better for you to be, because on the portfolio side, I would like to comment. We have seen 3 companies going down the drain. We are having lead investor calls with entrepreneurs who are looking for short-term loans to clear their salaries. Government coming in with some kind of a support, but not good enough, because they're right now maybe bigger responsibilities and bigger industries going down the drain. And yes, of course, we have a contribution in the GDP as a startup, but yes, there are bigger issues to handle, and we are one of them. But we will be, coming to that, and they will be trying to help us. And by that time, you need to be alive to be able to be pulled onto the boat. That okay? So now, the situation is grim, and for certain sectors, it's booming business. We had issued 7 term sheets when this and we are maybe, or a good time for each one of us to look at our own strategies of how to build up the product, what is the customer requirement, and I think we need to utilize this time in doing that more. And IN angel investors are a little seasoned ones. We have 517 angel investors spread across 12 countries, and these are people who are, not the new generation entrepreneurs who have seen, highs and lows in their businesses. 2007, 2008, when there was a bust in the dot-com industry, and so all this they have seen, and they are pretty, balanced in terms of their, curve of angel investing. They have seen ups and downs in their businesses. They have seen ups and downs and failures and successes in angel investments. They are not panicking, but I would, not clearly say that they are as gung-ho as they were maybe 2 months back. And if proposals with a 90% chance could move ahead, that 90% may have dropped to a 60%, or a sector where, B2C or something which is not actually happening. Naturally, they're not going to invest their time and energy, and of course their money and mentoring onto those sectors as of now. But yeah, once the market opens and a pattern comes out, and something is the market in the world is not going to be the same if this continues and the way it is. There are various studies that we are seeing, so you need to be aligned with that. And yeah, I'm sure things will turn out better than what they are right now. Yeah, Vinita.
Thanks, Vijay. Thanks for your comments. I have a few questions. Probably I'll take them in the Q&A. But can I invite Ratnakar to share his thoughts about what Hyderabad Angels, our very own homegrown angel network's thoughts are?
Thank you, T-Hub. Thank you, Vinita. And thank you to my other Angel Network team. And most of the things, what they're saying, I endorse, and situation remains the same. So just to give a brief about Hyderabad Angels has started its operations in 2012 with some of the marquee entrepreneurs in Hyderabad, people like B.V. Mohan Reddy from Cyient, then Srini Raju from iLabs, Srini Kaplu, ex-Microsoft MD, and Suresh Babu and other people who has been in the system. They thought Hyderabad as an ecosystem can be grown to the next level. That's what their intention, and they started in 2012. And the objective of us is we want more than funding. What we are looking is mentoring and handling startups whenever it is a need of the hour. That is what the motto, and which we are trying our best to give to the startups which are coming to Hyderabad Angels and do our need. as people know, we are similar to other people. We are not a sector-specific companies. We are invested in all types of scenarios per se. So H as a member base today we are 110 plus members as on date with a portfolio of 37 companies invested and we invest anywhere between 100K to $500,000. Our sweet spot always been around 300K to 400K because whatever we choose, we would try to put our best in that. And we also co-invested with IN and China Angels and Lead Angels, participated with them and working with the startups very actively. And currently, myself, to give a brief, I am a chartered accountant, passed out in 2002, has been in industry for last 18 years. Worked with the retail sector like Spencer's Retail, then ICICI Bank in their SME aging debt funding. So I handled around 300 odd companies in and around Hyderabad, funded a working capital, term loan, and other structured finance for them. So that has been experience. After that, I worked for an IT company, large IT company, where we did 7 M&As in and outside India. And last 2.5 years, I was with Hyderabad Angels, working closely with the startup ecosystem per se, actually. So, what are the things when we look at the current trend? What are the first priority, as everybody said, either a VC or other angel network is looking into our portfolio, which is the key for survival and success. So today, out of 37, we have 27 active portfolios. We did some exits and closed down previously prior to this COVID. So what we did is with these 27 companies, we divided into sectors and put it under 3 buckets. As Chennai did 5, we did 3 actually. We said sectors which are COVID positive. Some of the sectors are COVID neutral. They don't have much of impact. If markets are back, they can survive. And some of them are COVID negative. So COVID positive, as my predecessors and other people said, we were trying to see what is that we can do for them so that they can catch hold of this opportunity and go to the next level. We are seeing their go-to-market strategy, adding of the clients and other things are going in a great pace. And some of our members are also looking at these companies for their internal requirements, which they were not doing previously. So that kind of we are doing. And as Digvijay said in Indian Angel, these guys are getting cash at this time and they are positive. They're not asking for funds. And one of our startup also raised fund recently who is in COVID positive scenario. With regard to COVID neutral, they have been locked down. No activity is taking up. We said, see that whatever the cash is available, let us neutralize it for a period of 12 months and sustain how things will go about. And we are also working how the market is working around. We said 2-3 startups doesn't have enough cash, but what we said, we wanted to see how the market reacts over a period of next 3 months, then decide how much bridge round and funding we need to do so that they can sustain and get to the next level. The third is the COVID negative scenarios like travel and tourism, e-marketplace and other things. And luckily for us, a few of the startups are either in break-even because they cut down the cost heavily and they moved into a break-even mode. And some of them has some surplus cash, which they can sustain from 12 months to 18 months. But still the industry is negative. But what we were asking is there any M&A opportunities for them? Either to acquire a small company. For example, one of the startup is majorly focused in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So we were asking, since your sector is negative, if you see some other startup in North region like Delhi and Bombay, they're doing well. Why don't you both merge and see a synergy can be happening between both the parties? And tomorrow the market opens, they can grow big actually. And this is a win-win situation. This is the strategies we are working with them very closely. And we are very optimistic, and most of our investors and members said, Ratnakar, currently, yes, we would like to give our funding for them, and we are not going back, but we wanted to see how market is evolving. Then we fund it at the right time, so that the good money will not go to the bad money. Because if you invest now and they invest on their salaries, fixed costs, that will not reach the good point. We want to invest in the growth. That is the reason we said we have given certain commitments. We told we will do it in the month of once the lockdown is opened and a 1 month is passed by, understand the market and invest in the right startups. That has been our strategy per se. And with regard to investment, I spoken to a lot of our members in HA. What is their feel now after COVID-19 and lockdown for last 45 days? See, at least 50% of my members are saying this is an opportunity to invest in right startups so that they can make money in the longer term. All these days, we are trying and getting startups which were doing well and doing things, but this has brought most of the scenarios to the ground level. The valuations has been good, and still they feel the investment between angel network to Series A, there is a good scope to invest now before VCs get activated next year, because the investment horizon for next round of funding for most of the startups will happen only in 2021 as a financial year. And we also hope VC community and the world over will be very active in the next financial year, where these startups will have an opportunity to raise further funds and grow much faster from this tight situation. So that is the confidence what our members have given. They are very optimistic. They would like to see. As another 50% of the members, they said they wanted to keep wait and watch mode, and maybe another 5 to 10% they said they may not look into investment in this financial year per se until unless things are resolved. They don't want to take the bet what generally happens in the stock market. This is what we've seen from the investment per se. So Hyderabad Angels still actively looking at startups. Still we are doing angel meetings. People are coming to the call and they are looking at the startups. So most of our startups, what we are choosing is COVID positive. What are the COVID positive sectors? As people said, it is health tech majorly in medical devices, telemedicine, pharmacy delivery, and lab. These are the things we are very much focused to look at, and there is a lot of gungo for these products. Some of them are still saying in health tech, these companies may be having euphoria for next 9 months or 12 months till this COVID-19 is resolved, but they have the potential for them to grow. And second thing, as everybody informed, is tech. Third is work management and online tools. We are keenly watching into the space. Anything is coming, we would like to invest. And the fourth thing is deep tech. Deep tech previously are still doing well, which has SaaS as a base and deep tech as an experience. And we are not negative with the agri-tech and digital tech. We are still watching this space a lot in terms of investment. So this has been our core forte in looking at investments for the startups. And we are also insisting some of the startups to pivot their business idea because, as everybody said, the world has been changed. For example, social interaction, the way we are interacting. As somebody said when I'm watching some of the webinars, the interaction used to happen between people to people. Now the social interaction is on the webinar. So this has been changed. Social distancing is the norm. There is a good opportunities for some of the startups. If they can pivot and use this facility, they can grow big. Example are 1 or 2 edtech companies where we funded, they are struggling to go online for last 1 year. And this COVID-19 completely moved them into an online platform. And they're feeling this is a blessing in disguise to happen in their life. Otherwise, when they're moving from offline to online, they're finding it difficult. So that is an opportunity. Second is work styles are getting changed. We are observing the work styles are also changing with the people. So there is an opportunity, the behavior change, which other angel numbers. And third thing, we are seeing gig economy. Gig economy means where people will look for short-term assignments and freelancers than looking at a permanent this thing. So gig economy, we are saying there is a possibility this will enhance now going forward, and some of the startups in this space is going to grow. So just to summarize, Hyderabad Angels is still gung-ho, and especially on this thing. And as Chandan or Digvijay said, we are just keeping our wait and watch mode till end of June 2020, but we're actively seeking application and watching and speaking to them. And we are reworking on our startups. And just finally to say some of our portfolio companies where to invest is Indian Money, which is a fintech company. We have a Touch, which is a OTJ platform. We have InnoAptive, which has been funded by Tiger Global. We're also with them. We have Zanwan, which is a deep tech company. We have Nowfloats, which has been acquired by Reliance recently, and Grypon, which is again catering to this COVID-19 positive company. So, and we also funded Chai Kings along with Chennai Angels. Thanks for giving an opportunity. So these are our the named portfolio for us. Thank you, Vinita, and back to you.
Thanks, Ratnakar, for sharing your thoughts on what's the present like and what the future looks like. So I'll take a few questions before we open up the floor. In the meantime, I urge all those startups who have any questions to raise hand. You'll see a button on the right side. If you're not comfortable with that, you can just leave a question in the questions block. There are a few questions from my side that I wanted to kind of get your inputs on. One is there is a notion that angels generally invest in I might be completely wrong here, but invest in various asset classes, even listed, unlisted. So when they usually put in money into startups, it comes from the listed stocks and they dilute that and put it into startups. So with what's happening in the stock market, do you see any kind of impact or any sentiment that is going on? Can you share any thoughts on that? Please volunteer, anybody who wants to take up this question. Yes, Jadra.
Yeah, I take the question. Yeah, drop in the effect in which the capital market is going through right now will definitely affect the cash flow which is available with the individual investors. So they definitely would not like to take the investments they have already made, which have already come down. So there will be a cash flow issue. So that is on the angel investor side. But this is also affecting the VC side because their partners, okay, they have been badly affected, so they are not able to pump in more money into the VC funds. So from all round, the impact of capital markets has been felt all round actually.
Okay. So are you also seeing Sushanta, were you adding something on that?
Yes,
You're breaking up, Sushanta. Can you switch off your video for a second?
I think in the short run, stock market going down will affect angel investing. But I think in the long run, more money will move into the startup sector from the stock market, and people who would otherwise invest in stock market would move into the startup sector. So I think that's the positive side.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Anything that Ratnakar, you or Vijay want to add in on that?
Yeah. Just to give you a heads up, Vinita, we have people who invest member community, most from business who are doing the regular business, and some of them have marked their amount for investments in startups, and some of them are in the stock market. So I can say from HA point of view, it has a neutral scenario that stock market impact as any investment issue on the startup. It is very neutral as at least 5 to 10 people who have been retired and their active investment is on stock market and portfolio. As they said, currently they want to hold their position because they want the stock market to revive and come back to normalcy. But class who are existing business, still they are positive. They are not seeing a negative adverse impact of the stock market, but they only said to us this, we work on the valuations because stock market reflects the valuations for startups. So when they come back, the valuation need to be reworked with them actually.
Yeah, just to supplement what Sushanta was saying, see the valuations are getting reset now. Okay,
Right.
Until recently the valuations were unreasonably high, and now people are actually now understanding, and the valuations are actually getting reset. So this is the best time to actually invest in angel investment. This is the best time. So what Sushanta is saying is, yeah. So what, because of these lower valuations, so the returns you will get in future will be much higher. So in the long term, this will become more attractive. Angel investment will become more attractive.
Sure. Thank you so much. Digvijay, next question, I would like to start with you. What is it that you're going to see which is going to take a leapfrog moment with respect to sectors? For example, drones, for me, I feel drones have a great probability in this new turn of things, or work from home options, work from home engagement of employees. All of these things will take like a full upswing. What are the sectors or what are the scenarios that you see where it was a greenfield so far, but now this is going to be like really hitting it off?
Yeah, I agree to some extent, but the policies when it comes to drones and usage of drones in India are still in a gray area.
Correct.
So, that if the government works on, that can help. But I see a lot of other sectors like farm to fork and all, there's a lot of things that can, this COVID situation can really help those sectors to grow. And we have been waiting for that for a long time. And maybe it's a good opportunity for them. And yes, of course, medical and, you know, opportunities helping patients and, sectors around that data and helping, that remains as it was, maybe a little better than what it was. Yeah, but right now, anything to do with B2C, which was earlier as it is very a big no-no because the kind of investments that they were going in B2C sectors and deep-pocketed, angel investors to start with becomes a little difficult because, they need a lot of more money than just angel money coming in. So those sectors again are very badly affected, and we still
Sure.
stay away from them. And yeah, but some such sectors will definitely look up. And on answering to the previous question, on share markets not doing well, if that continues the trend, then it will start impacting. Right now, we are in middle of nowhere when it comes to share markets affecting startup investments and all, because share markets, so nobody's even touching right now, I feel. And the other part is your infra investments have gone down, commercial investments into infrastructure and all completely off the record these days. So people are looking up to investing in the startup ecosystem, but here also, since the industry is on the other side and startups on the other side, if this part of it is really, really going down, then they become very apprehensive in spending that, 10-15% into the startup ecosystem. But yes, opportunity is there. Yes, it's all a mindset, I guess.
Sure. So just a follow-up, but a question very related to this is, I think a lot of us are, starting to feel more responsible for what we are doing, or generally, I think there's a lot of conversation around impact startups happening right now. One is I want to hear how many of your individual angels are inclined, just as a percentage of sorts, for impact investments, and if so, what would be the main 1, 2, 3 things that you would still look at when you are looking at an impact startup? Sushanta, can we start with you?
Yeah. So I think angels don't really look at impact as a sort of, at least our angels don't typically look at impact as a major criteria for investment. If it does, it's a positive thing. So it's not that, since we are not an impact angel network, the idea is to make money, but if it makes impact, it adds to that investment thesis. If we see some of the companies that are coming now, most of them are, say, in edtech or, which also impact the, bottom of the pyramid. So I don't think, at least our angels are not looking at something specifically for impact, but if it does impact, they're happy to do that. More than happy to do it.
So there's no shifted focus from your investment criteria point of view for clean tech or for any of other. Any other thoughts, Chandran, on this point? Can't hear you. I think you might be on mute.
Yeah, I agree with what Sushanta is saying. Even in our case, we actively don't look for any impact investments. And like if they happen to be commercial and also have an impact, then it is fine. But there are members in our group who on their personal capacity, they do get involved in impact funds. But as Chennai Angels, we do not look for impact investments.
So before we dive into Q&A, I think we have a bunch of questions already lined up. I just have one question that I want each of you to kind of give me a one-word answer of sorts. So how many quarters do you think before normalcy or business usual comes back from the investment point of view? How many quarters do you give it? 1, 2, 2, or 2 to 3, 4 quarters? Can't hear you, sorry, Sushant.
8 quarters.
3 quarters.
Yeah.
Chandran thoughts.
Yeah. So I would say 3 to 4 quarters.
Okay. Ratnakar?
Yeah, we are seeing around 3 quarters now. Only next April, we are seeing things are going to be normal. What we did in Jan 2020, what startups were doing in Jan 2020, we are hoping to be repeating in April 2021.
Okay. Vijay?
Yeah, I think 2 to 3 quarters minimum. But if this continues, then can be more also.
That's reasonably good news if it's 2 to 3 quarters then. So with that note, I think, Jayant, I'll hand it over back to you. You can start with the Q&A. I think we have a whole bunch of questions here.
Sure. Thanks, Vinuta. I think we have 3 raised hands, but before we get into those, I would recommend everyone who's put their question in the questions tab to raise their hand, because we'll give preference to everyone who's raised their hand. Also, please fill our feedback form, which I'm putting the link in the chat window right now. So just take a minute to fill that feedback form. So the first question we have is from Sachin Singh. Also, another thing, once you ask your question, whoever raised their hand, please mute your mic and possibly shut your video as well, so that there's no disruptions. So we'll start with Sachin Singh. Hey, Sachin.
Hi, I'm just thinking how to switch off the video. Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. My question is, so I'm representing e-commerce rental, Snap on Rent. I was recently hired here to actually look for investment, but the current scenario doesn't really support that. So my question is like, how to make best of my current time? I'm already reaching LinkedIn to all investors. I'm attending all the webinars. So what do I do to make myself ready post-COVID, like you said, 3 quarters to be investment ready? Thank you.
Okay, so basically you're not getting any traction. I mean, the business must be completely affected, right? You may not be getting any customers for this solution.
So currently, we have some kind of traction. So it's a AC, like AC have some few tractions. Supply chain is locked down. So like in Delhi, we could able to serve few customers. Gurgaon, we could able to serve few customers. So traction is slowly there, but we are waiting for lockdown to be able to completely fill the tractions.
Okay, are you already commercial? I mean, you're already in business, or you're still in the prototype?
No. So we are in business since 2016.
Okay, see, the best suggestion I would like to give you is, if it is, I think you will have challenges in getting customers. You must be having a trickle right now. Best to put it on ice for some time. Put it on ice for some time, and then see how the market revives back. Don't waste money unnecessarily. Don't spend money. Wait for the market to become all right.
Okay.
That would be my advice.
My question was for the investment, like what should I do to keep myself, like how to reach the investor at this point of time, because most of the investment are quite raised. How to reach the investors right now, mostly the networking part, mostly the LinkedIn connections. What shall I do to make best out of the current time?
You could put in your proposal and wait, because at this time, I don't think any investors would be actively looking at these kind of proposals.
Okay.
I think you should move only when the lockdown is over. Till that time, I think you should collect names of investors and so on and so forth. Once you are operational again, that would be the right time to approach them. And approach them and saying, this is our traction, this is how we are growing. And they will show their interest thereafter, and they're ready to invest.
Okay. Thank you, Sushant. Thank you, Chandran.
Thanks, Sachin, for your question. We'll move on to the next one. It's from the founder of Naya Gadi. Doesn't seem to be joining in. We'll move on to Vinod, founder of. Hey Vinod, if you can hear us. Vinod? Okay.
No, he seems to be on mute. He's trying to talk, but he's on mute.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Vinod. Just raise your hand again. We'll get back to you. Now, Vagish.
Good afternoon, all. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Excuse me. We're just about to, planning to launch a new product in regards to the water management. Because of this COVID effect, it is actually, it's going to be delayed of launching our product. We're also looking at actually raising the investment, to take it forward to scaling the business as well. So we are looking at delaying this process about next 3 to 6 months. Is that going to be enough to restart the business around 6 months down the line and start talking to the investors to raise the capital? Or should we go start now once the lockdown is lifted and then start approaching to the investors in the next couple of months?
Yeah, you should see actually how the economy is coming back, springing back. Okay, so hopefully in 1 month's time, we slowly the economy will start coming back slowly actually. So you need to watch and see, because the first 3 to 6 months you can be very sure none of the angel investors will look at new opportunities unless they have an impact on the COVID, pro-COVID, scenario. They will give some immediate benefits to customers. Then they will look at it. But if it is a general, the old school kind of, I meant old school. I meant if it is not COVID related, then I think it may not be getting much of attention. So wait for some time. That would be my advice.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vagish. Now we have Sahiti.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Sahiti. Can you ask your question?
Yeah, sure. So some of the panelists did mention some of the greenfield sectors earlier in the conversation. So I was just wondering, because communication is key in this during COVID and post-COVID era as well. So do you think that software-defined radios were an option earlier? Why did they not take off if they did not? And is there a better device that has come out after that? So some of the reasons you might have experience in that sector. So I'm looking for sector knowledge in terms of. So I will do my research, but I just want to get an idea of what is the current status or opinion on that sector.
Yeah, Ratnagiri here. Sahiti, software for radios, I think previously other people tried, and there are also certain private radios which came and they also tried. The success has been very, very low in this area till date. Unless something innovative and technology is playing a different role, whether it is a COVID or a post-COVID, we will not be able to see an impact over there. Unless you're serving an office community and a lot of people are using Zoom, GoToMeeting, and like AirMeet, which is happening now. This has become common. So I don't personally see there will be an interest from angel network of the area, especially from HA. I don't know about others.
If anyone else wants to add, otherwise, thanks, Sahiti, for your question. We're also getting some disturbance from your end. We have Vinod now. Hey, Vinod. We can't hear you again.
Yeah, he's not unmuting, I think.
Vinod. Okay, seems like there's some issue from his end. We have Venkat now.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Venkat.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm from schoolpapers.in and we are based out of Hyderabad. We have around 200 paying customers and we are in the market from past 2 years. And I would like to know what would be the impact on the overall the startup, the scenario from the investors' perspective to invest in, I mean, probably since I am from the edtech domain, so on edtech domain.
What is the business model you have? Is it for
It's it's a B2B business. It's a basically online assessments for the schools and any educational institutions. And currently we are working with, working in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana states. And also we are, worked on some of the government schools and we have very close, deal with the government of Andhra Pradesh to work to implement the, our portal in 5,600 schools. We are just waiting for the final government order.
So you are already have 200 schools as your customer, right?
Yes, we do have 200 around 200 paying customers. That's a private institutions.
Yeah. So it looks interesting to me, okay, because you can work in the online space. You can actually do this virtually. So there should be traction, and I think from what limited I have heard from you, you are in a good space, and we should continue to grow.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Venkat.
Yeah.
We have the last raised hand is from Kiran Kumar. Hey, Kiran.
Thank you all for your wonderful insights about post-COVID and its impacts. Actually, we are from online food catering space where we are the marketplace for all the caterers beyond our platform, where we supply food for all the functions, small, medium, and large for the B2C. And as well, we also do supply daily meals to all the employees in the corporate world. So this is the business that we are in right now. My question comes in that, I've been heard that, the impact would be for 2 quarters to 3 quarters. In this line of business, do you think that, our impact would be for next month or about like 2 months or a quarter? Or should I put this business into the running halt and keep it in our eyes and resume it later? Or I should continue my employees to keep it with me and then, wait for another month or 2. I just want of your opinion, please. Thank you.
Yeah, in the sector that you are in, I don't think so you should be panicking that much. Because the restaurant businesses and all, I don't think after which city are you based in?
I'm from Hyderabad.
Yeah, I think not. You should continue to do whatever you're doing, and things will be, I think, a little better in the next 1.5 months for you. So you should not panic that much. That is what I feel about your particular sector, and specifically that you are not in the zone which is like really badly hit. Those 5-6 states. It's a very personal view, and I'm sure can be different from others.
Yeah, the only area where maybe you will have a challenge is in events. I think there'll be less and less events because people may not want to actually socialize for some time. So that portion of your business, you may have a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Events. So you'll have to rework some of your strategies on approaching your customers, because public gatherings and all this will be a complete no. Maybe providing food to their home also becomes a challenge. people going out and eating in restaurants will come back to normal, but how long will it take and all that will again, take a little bit of time. But yeah, the events and all is something that you need to really keep it at the ice.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Is it a point that where I should do the business pivot while this is going to the continue like waiting for a week or month or two? Is it a good idea to also look at pivoting the business at this moment?
Of course, anything that whatever you were planning and utilizing your resources as well as money on earlier, which you are not planning to do it now because the market has changed for you, so that you can utilize in maybe pivoting and maybe developing. And right now, maybe a strategy behind, how the customer will react, what will be his requirements, hygiene levels, all that you need to see. Now pizza is being delivered with plastic gloves, and car and the auto and everything is very different from what it used to be. So you will see a lot of customer behavior changes, and expectations of customers also will be very, very different from what they were earlier for each and every business. Yeah, it's a good time to pivot. One of our company, for example, we funded by the IN fund for cleaning solar panels, satellite solar panels, 15 crores funding. Right now, what they're doing to stay afloat is cheap, affordable ventilators is what they are producing and selling to the Indian government. So businessman remains a businessman. Whatever is required for him to remain afloat, he will do. I think that Jugaad of India, which is, forever the best innovation for Indians, that remains to go. That wo to uske bina to you will not even survive, another 2-3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Digvij.
Thanks, Kiran. We seem to have got a few more raised hands. We have the founder of Naya Gadi again. Does not seem to be getting access. Sorry, founder of Naya Gadi. You don't seem to. So
He's trying to speak. He's trying to speak.
Oh, sorry, really sorry. We now have Srikanth.
Same challenge.
Srikanth, if you can hear us, can you say something?
He's trying to speak.
Oh.
Connectivity with the people and their speakers is not getting through because currently speaking, he's already talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there seems to
maybe
be
that the network at their end is a little slower or something.
someone not able to. So,
it might be the connectivity,
okay, we'll.
And why don't we take a few questions from the panel and then try after a bit? Just take a few questions from the questions tab here.
Okay, sure.
Before that, I would just prompt everybody to please take a minute to fill in the survey if you have not already done so, please.
So it looks
Okay,
like
one of the questions is, will work from home culture lead to need to set up meeting rooms, office setup in residential societies? It's a very imaginative question.
Work from home culture can be, you're converting your own office, your one of the bedrooms into an office. Why will I pay anything extra to anyone in the society?
Yeah. I agree with you.
Club rooms as it is are free to us. So I don't know whether societies will be providing that as an additional thing. Maybe, 3 to 4 years from now, that might be a requirement. But I'm quite good with my room and converted one of my bedrooms into office. And yeah, the balcony, I step outside from there. and then go and smoke from there.
Very true. And there may be virtual rooms, virtual meeting rooms, but physical not required.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Why pre-seed money across India is low? I don't think this is the scenario now, but in general, the risk capital or pre-revenue capital is very low in India. So any thoughts from you, given that you're all leaders in the space, why is it so? Why is it that we don't have risk capital?
No, the ecosystem of angel investing is very nascent in India. So it's been 10, 12 years. So, the profits and the losses that the investors have gained or lost is been limited. So give us some time, and I'm sure, more capital will start coming into that space also right now, because, it's just been 10 years. Some of the angel investors have not even got, maybe from IAN perspective, say 30% would have not even got their first exit, in spite of us giving 3 to 4 exits every year. So last 3-4 years where we have really spiked on our investments, and those people have not seen an exit right now. So for them to start getting some exits, making some returns and profits over there, they will maybe start getting a little bit more greedy, if I can say, and maybe taking risk at an earlier stage, and getting them more equity at that earlier stage will prompt them to take those extra risks, which they are already sitting on very high risk right now. So, but some more, exits there, and some, maturity of the whole ecosystem also will tend to support. And I'm sure it will, because we are seeing little bit of things coming in where, some of the older angel investors at IAN are saying that we should be looking at companies a little bit earlier now. And we have invested in complete of our portfolio of 156 companies, plus at the angel level, we have invested in 1 or 2 very, ideation stage companies, and done a bridge round and a follow-up rounds with them also.
From Chennai Angels, okay, I endorse what Digvijay is saying. I mean, we also are finding some of our angels talking about looking at seed investments. So far, I think why, like Digvijay was saying, people have to see exits, and and also there has been some people have been burnt by investing at pre-seed stage in the past. So there has been some past experience issues also. But I think going forward, I think we can see some shift happening. People will look at seed stage funding, provided the technology is really strong, and also it is. And now with this COVID crisis, I think if it is oriented towards solutions for this current different paradigm which we are now going to face, I think we'll definitely see more active involvement from angel investors for seed funding.
Thanks, Chitra. Any more thoughts on this, Sushanto or Rudnakar?
No, we just about made a commitment for a pre-revenues company in the EdTech space, which is positively affected by COVID situation. So yes, I sort of say that there will be more interest in investing in pre-revenue company also, if it has a great future in the coming years.
Sure.
Coming back from Hyderabad Angels per se, what we observed is most of the startups which are in pre-revenue stage are from the friends and families. And as you're aware, in Hyderabad itself, we have seen 21-30 startup incubators called accelerators. The seed funding anywhere between 5 lakhs to 25 lakhs. So, if they are nurturing and doing this already, want to enter into this high risk area. So that's where we are conservative for some time for last 5-6 years. Now we were thinking, why don't we collaborate with accelerators like you, like either a T-Hub or a IIT, IIIT, and we do a investment of 20-25 lakhs as a seed for a pre-stage company. And one of the things we are asking our members, if they wanted to enter into pre-stage companies, their time to them need to be increased. They cannot be spending like water or 1 hour in a month. We are saying they need to spend at least 1 or 2 days in a month to see if companies are nurtured and taken it to the next level. That's where certain commit from members, though they are interested to invest in seed stage, has been little bit not coming forward. So we think there is some shift, and we are trying to come with committees who can look into this area. This is where HA is today.
Sure. Thanks, Ratnakar. Jayant, you want to try the questions?
Sure, we have a few more. We could try. One
Just
is
give me
from-
1 second. There is one prompt. For early stage companies, what will be the key parameters where VCs will focus more now, while considering any investors and which specific sectors will be of more interest? I think we have taken the sectors part, but if you can throw a little light on what are the parameters or the metrics that you would be looking at in this scenario, that would be helpful.
Rahul, just mute yourself till this question is over, please.
Yep.
No, you're talking about VCs or angel investors, Vinita?
The question is VCs, but probably we can take it as early stage, so we can take it as angels as well as early stage VCs.
Can you just repeat if you don't mind?
For early stage companies, what will be the key parameters where VCs will focus more now while considering any investments, and which specific sectors will be of more interest to them? So as we have covered the sectors, I was thinking we'll concentrate more on the parameters as well as metrics that we'll be looking at.
I'll respond, but if anybody else wants to respond, they can take it.
Cash flow, the break-even point will be something that VCs will look at differently now than they did pre-COVID. The other is that they will also look at how much are you affected by the bricks and mortar business. So if you are, if you're greatly affected by it, again, there will be a little say selling to a traditional industry. If your buyer is a traditional industry, let's say petrochemicals or your hotels or travel, if that is the end user industry, again, they will be a little cautious about investing in those.
Thank you, Sushanta. So, Vinita, what my observation after listening to a lot of webinars with regard to VCs is concerned, previously VCs and angels are more bothered about revenue growth and customer acquisition. And sometimes we ignored unit economics because acquisition is the key point. Even they are making loss, we are good to go. But, a lot of VCs are saying unit economics is the key for their investment. And second thing, what I observed is the bar. Previously, for a SaaS company to get funded, they are looking at MRR of 10 lakhs per month. And in some of the cases, the MRR went for 1 crore per month. I think bar of revenue will go up, keeping unit economics positive. That is what they are looking at. Keep continuing growth, keep positive. And third thing is during this COVID-19 crisis, what are the other opportunities they are able to pick up? Maybe they are pivoting their business idea. For example, I always see Swiggy turning their food delivery into an essential model. And I think that kind of scenarios need to come to sustain, survive, and keep momentum going on, keeping this thing. I think these are the ideas which the founded team is going to showcase. VCs will show a lot more interest, keeping momentum and unit economics positive. That is what I've seen as a view from a lot of them.
Thank you. Jen, can we take Rahul's question?
Yeah, hey Rahul.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Actually, we are in an early stage agri-tech startup. So we have an interesting problem to solve for the farmers. Actually, we are the organic fertilizer suppliers for the farmers. So we saw an interesting problem for them that they are unable to sell their product with a good price. So we have farmers in the belt of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu with a larger scale, approximately around 4 to 5 lakh farmers. So they are coming for some kind of help that can we digitize them? Can we make the supply chain stronger for them? Can we create a marketplace for that? So we are working on the platform to build so that we'll be knowing where are they from, what are they growing, and what is the harvest time. So and also we are speaking with B2B platform like Amazon, Big Basket, all those players. So my question is, when is the right time to go to the VCs to raise the funds?
So what is the amount you have invested so far in your venture?
The thing is, we have two entities where the organic fertilizer is a separate company, and this tech company will be a separate entity. So till now in the organic entity, it's been like we started with 3 lakh investment 8 years ago, and we are doing a turnover of 40 crores per annum now in the organic fertilizers field. In this tech entity, we have a team with different people with different sector. We have a tech team separate, which they look into the tech aspects, and I'll be looking into the execution side. So this is a totally new company.
So you have just started, right? So I think you need to come with the idea, and then you need to do some prototype, and then only look for funding, right?
Yeah.
So I think keep doing what you are doing. I think you need to come for funding only once at least you have a prototype of an idea.
Okay.
A solution which is available.
So probably we might figure out in 2 months. My question is when to come, means is this the right time to come, or can
it's always a good idea to have the prototype ready, try it out with a few customers. It should be working. Customers should be delighted with what you have got. Then reach out.
Okay, sir.
That would be the best time to do.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rahul.
Thank you.
We have a couple more questions and about 7 minutes left, so I think we can take it. I think we were having a problem with your thing, so let's just try one last time. Vinod? Could you just type out your question, Vinod, possibly in the questions thing? I'll directly just go to that. This is not working. Jishnu. Seems to be not connecting. I think founder of Naya Gadi, your question, I could it's fairly long, but let me just read it out for the panelists. Just 1 second.
So I'll take it, Jayant. So Naya Gadi is a low-cost shared multi-brand auto sales retail outlet. So he wanted to know what is the sense of investors with respect to looking at models which are into multi-brand electronic vehicle experience, and maybe some light on EV market as a whole would also help.
Okay, one thing, I will take the question and then others can add what they think about it. See, right now, the automobile industry is in a flux. You must be knowing that. And one is already, even before this crisis hit us, we started getting mobile, because of easy mobility now, the automobile sales have been affected. Okay, that is one. Second, now, after this COVID crisis, there has been further deterioration. So, on mobility and people going out and buying new cars is going to take some time. Nobody wants to buy any fancy car at this moment because they can't even go out. So this business is going to take some time to take off. And if you are new to this, you're just starting this, I think you need to really see when it will. So can you just answer me? Do you already have a solution? Are you already commercial? Or he's not there on the line?
He is not there.
he's not
But
there.
yes, he does have some outlets already.
At the moment, it is not. It's in a troubled space. So if he's not yet started the business, I think it will take some time. We need to wait for things to become normal. So
Sure.
yeah, that's what I would advise.
Sure.
Anyone else want to comment?
Okay. We can move on then, Jayant.
Yeah, totally match the views actually.
I think we are done with the raise hand. So, and we are pretty much at the end of the session. So, I would like to thank everyone, including the speakers and the attendees and everyone who's joined. I think it was a great session. A huge round of applause.
Jayant, just 1 second. I would like to hear any closing thoughts from all the speakers. I think we still have 4 minutes. So maybe if there are any closing thoughts that you would want to share, Sushanto, can you start?
I think, as I started with saying that every dark cloud has a silver lining. So I think it's not just for COVID positive companies that there is a silver lining. I think there is a silver lining for all the startups. And those of you who are thinking of doing a startup right now, this is the best time to start. Many of the unicorns and the most successful companies in the world were started during downturns.
So that's some hope. Thank you for that, Sushanto. Digvijay, can you share your thoughts?
There's a lot of scope for people who are starting off now. They have not taken any money from anyone. They are free to create their product and services, relook at whatever they want to do. And a market where we are just trying to analyze everything, they can, there's a huge opportunity. And yes, pivot, change your business model, do whatever you need to. And people who have taken, they are doing it. They who have taken funding and they're completely pivoting. So learn from your seniors, learn from your, entrepreneurs who are sitting right next to you in your cohort or everybody is doing that. So good opportunity for everyone. It's like I started by saying that, entrepreneur's journey is actually not like mine, that 31st I get my salary. And you have to be, very hardcore to, survive in a industry like being an entrepreneur. So I think something that you're learning the hard way and pretty early in your career. So going forward, you will be in a much better, stronger strength of your mind to handle situations in future.
Thank you, Digvijay.
Yeah.
Ranjan, sir?
Yeah, just to add, so the only thing is now 3 to 6 months, the current investments becomes a priority for all of us. So there will be some distraction, in the sense not distraction. It is more like ensuring that existing investments are protected. So to that extent, the entrepreneurs may not get a great response immediately now. So they should not feel disappointed that they are not getting attention. They will get attention, but there could be some time, 3 to 6 months time frame where they may be thinking that they are not getting attention, but they should continue. They should ensure that they get their idea is, they work on the idea and keep trying. And I'm sure once things start becoming normal, we will all go back and then start looking at these new investments.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Ratnakar?
I think I endorse the views of Sushanto and Chandan sir. But what one I was telling startups who are reaching out to me is reach out to some of our members who has experience. For example, HA or Chennai Angels or Indian Angels has an experience more than 2,000 plus years or 3,000 plus years. And people have seen different situations and they would have taken different calls. I said, surprisingly, Vinita, some of our startups have gone blank when we call them. Ratnakar, really, we don't know what need to be done. And taking into that industry, we have set up a chat with some of the members, whether they are not invested or invested, to have a chat. I think that chat has given a good idea to them what need to be done. I think about to startups, and I urge a lot of startups are joining and listening to them. But I say, given an opportunity, reach out to your near ones, take advices from the people, take the right move. And pivoting of the business idea is you always need to be kept in mind, which will to sustain and keep investors' interest in you continue. And the last thing I can say, I have a lot of startups who are applied previously to Angel Rent.
Feedback form, and you can always check out the recordings of all our webinars on YouTube. So I've put that link in the chat as well, so you can go see all our other webinars. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to end the session now. In case you want to continue in our virtual hangouts once the session ends with any of the other participants, you can do that if you wish. Thanks everyone for joining.